Hi boys and girls, it's Shane, and this is that house they left us so clean, but their little kitty decided he wanted to scratch on this trim. So now we gotta fix it. Now there are a lot of ways to fix something like this, and people in the comments are gonna tell me I should have done this or I should have done that, and that's okay. You can go with any way that works for you to fix it. But in my goal, or my case here, I want to do it with the least amount of expense, but yet make it something that will last and stand up for years to come. I don't really want to replace all of this trim. This is a craftsman-sized trim, and I'd have to cut a piece out in my shop and make it. So instead what I'm going to do, there's all these little straggly hairs. If you can see this, let me zoom in a little bit. So there's all these little scraggly hairs. These are wood fibers that are sticking up all over here. So I'm going to shave those off using a sharp chisel first. And our little kitties and dog companions and those little things that make our lives better, sometimes they do cause us some problems, but it's okay. We don't need to avoid problems in life. Some people think the goal of their life is to avoid problems, and it's like, that's a silly goal. You're always going to have problems. If you make your goal to avoid problems, you'll never achieve your goal. Why would you want that? Instead, let's overcome problems. Let's make our goal about how do we handle a problem when it happens? What's our attitude? What are the things we do? How can we have better problems maybe? That's not a bad goal. So, my wife and I have talked about it. Now that we're landlords and we're taking care of so many properties, we have so many more problems, but we have better problems. I look at this as a better problem. This house makes me money. I had some wonderful people living here and starting their life journey here in this house, and we're going to have somebody else live here that's going to be awesome and is going to appreciate it. And that is a better problem than what I had before I owned a place like this. And sometimes while you're shaving this, you may dig in too deep like I just did there. I did that one on purpose, and it's going to make a bigger indentation. We don't have to worry about that. We're mostly just wanting to get the stringy parts off of this. Perfect is not our goal. The goal that's perfect is not a good idea, because again, you'll always be unhappy with a goal like that. Our goal is to improve this, to make it better, to make it functional, better than when we started. If we accomplish that, then we've done something good, and we can feel good about our day. We can feel like we've done something. Let's take this piece right here off. There we go. And when you're working on problems, sometimes you make new problems. We'll have a little mess here when we're done, and that's going to be okay. You can find this at most hardware stores. This is Durham's Rock Hard Water Putty. This is a powder, and we can mix it with water to make a paste. It'll be almost like making up a pancake batter or something. I like to use a paint liner. It just makes a nice flat area to mix it in. And now I'm using a painter's helper or a multi 5-in-1 tool, or there's all sorts of names for these. I've heard some people up north call them 5-ways. I'm just going to stir it around with some of this until it kind of gets pasty. And people are going to say, oh, I should replace the whole board. People are going to say all sorts of things. Don't let people tell you this is the way to do it or that's the way to do it. Do it the way you want to do it. You're not doing it for them. When you do a project at your house, it's for you. Do it the way you want to do it. And you may mess it up. Like maybe your way won't work. Maybe you're trying something you've never done before. Maybe it fails. I had to use this product for the first time. I saw it at the store and thought, I want to try this. And it turned out to be awesome, and I use it a lot now. But you don't know until you try something. Just because you've always done something one way doesn't mean you can't do it another way. Now I could use lots of different tools to put this in. I can just put it right in just like this. And we got to work a little bit fast, but not bad. For something small like this, this has plenty of work time. We'll have probably 15 minutes that we can use this. It'll stay nice and soft. But first I'm going to use the angle and just kind of push it down into all those wood fibers. Also, I don't have to worry about making it perfect the first time. Sometimes we're working on something like this and we'll come back and do it again. A second layer is okay. This stuff will work, but right now my major objective is to build it up bigger than it was before. Let's switch to a different tool, something that'll give me a little bigger area. So see, this gives me a bigger area that I can grab it with. So I can put I'm putting the edge here on the part I want it to match and pressing firmly, focusing on that and letting it kind of deposit there as it goes. But then it's going to move down my putty knife, so I can take my other tool and move it to the edge like this, get it right up on that edge, and that's going to help me out a whole bunch. So let's do that one more time. Just like that. There we go. And I don't mind getting it all over here. That's okay. In fact, we kind of have a little bit of a crack right here, so I may go ahead and fit some of that into that crack. That'll take care of that spot for me. And just build it up. We can take a big clump and stick it on the side like this. Now I can bring it down, just like so. And oh no, parts of it are sticking up off the sides and rolling up back here. Things like that can make you feel like you're doing a terrible job, but you're not. It's okay. We'll just get rid of that right now. Just like that. Oh, it didn't go away. Now look, it's stuck out this side here. Let's take it off this way, right here. Nope, still didn't get it. We'll just keep working at it. You know, sometimes it takes more than one time to get something the way you want it to be. And now we've got it sticking out here, so let's take care of that right there, just like that. Now I've got it pretty close to where I want it. We're going to let it set and harden up for a few minutes. It's been maybe 20 minutes. I think it's soft enough. I can come through now and just kind of scrape ever so gently. I'm not wanting to scrape very hard because it's not fully cured yet. To take that down just a little bit, just like that. That'll save me some sanding in a minute. I can actually use my fingers, kind of round it off after I've cut it like this. And you can see this little divot right here. So we need to fill just a little bit more. Let's add just a little bit more to this. Just like that. We'll add in a little bit more. And it's going to get better and better and better. Now I'm just going to rub it with some sandpaper. It's had plenty of time to dry now. And smooth everything out. I'll feel with my hands. If it feels smooth with my hands, it's probably going to look good when I paint it. Now we're going to use some primer. I'm using Zinsser 123. You can use whatever primer you want. I'm going to just brush it on. When you use a paintbrush, make sure to pre-wet your paintbrush. That's a tip I wish I would have gotten when I was younger. If you moisten the paintbrush with water, if you're doing a latex-based paint or primer, or you moisten it with some mineral spirits or paint thinner, if you're doing an oil-based paint, you'll get a much better finish. And then when you go to clean the brush afterwards, it'll actually come clean. And I'm overdoing it. I'm covering outside the area that I'm going to be painting with the primer, because then I'll be able to sand this and get a much smoother finish. Just got back from lunch. Let's give it just a real light sanding. Super light, no pressure at all, hardly. Just want to make a few little scratches and then make sure nothing's peeling off from that. And I think we're okay. Let's do some paint. This is the paint that spilled in the back of my truck yesterday. It's a semi-gloss. I like to use a semi-gloss on trim. This paint is a high hiding white, and it's mixed with a primer, so it'll be okay even if I hadn't primed it. It's a primer and paint in one, but I always still feel like it's better if you prime before you paint. Sometimes it may take more than one coat of paint, but I think that's a pretty good job. The damage that was done by the cute little animal is no longer a problem for us. Let's move on to some other things around this house. This mess is a little bit more extreme. I decided to scrape this ceiling. We had just a little bit of peeling texture up top. This will be a video for another day. Thank you, boys and girls. If my videos help you, please be sure to share them, like them. That helps me reach more people and we can help more folks that way. Bye.